Attention Sinsomniacs, you're not dreaming. This is your weekly announcements. I'm your host, Mr. Lobo, and man, it is a good time to be a Sinsomniac. There's so much going on right now. Boy, where do I begin? Where do we begin, Miss Mittens? Oh my gosh, look at all this junk you've been eating. My goodness. Can you believe this? Miss Mittens is really letting herself go. Hopefully, I think this is like, you're like the summer, they always talk about winter depression. They don't talk about summer depression. I think we got the summer blues happening here. You know, that's why.
Hey, isn't that a song, Summertime Blues?
There is the summertime. I guess they actually have a song about the summertime blues. So I guess it is a thing. That's why Miss Mittens is hitting the Kaz bars. She's rocking the Kaz bars real hard. And the ding dongs. You gotta watch it. You don't want to take your ding dongs out on a hot day. Certainly not. Okay, 34 stations. That's a big one. 34 TV stations, community, public access, public television, government, college, lots of different stations. 34 of them across the country. We're rolling out our Halloween product to these stations. And if you are getting one of our stations, stations that's showing Cinema Insomnia, and we have a list of stations on the website, run some Cinema Insomnia on Halloween, marathon it. Encourage them to show those episodes, because we're giving them to them. From now until October, we're going to be giving them our Halloween product. The big station is Philly. Philly Cam will be starting September 7th, a day that will live in infamy. September 7th. So that's going to be exciting for all of us Sinsomniacs, local Sinsomniacs. Mr. Lobo gets to be the local horror host again. That's fun. You know, I'm officially now America's third favorite horror host. We had a poll during the last live stream. We had everyone Google top horror hosts, and I'm in the top 10 there, pretty respectably. But if you take away the people who aren't alive anymore, I'm arriving in that number 3 spot. Not to brag. I know that sounds like bragging. You wouldn't be jealous if you saw how we lived here. But it is kind of startling. I guess we've been doing this for 22 years, and Google likes us, so that's kind of a nice one. Monster of Frankenstein. That's this weekend. So that is our drive-in, our first episode. I think we did at a drive-in. I don't know if there's another prior one that we were at a drive-in for. That was at the Cumberland Drive-In as part of a Creature Feature weekend. Speaking of drive-ins, now's the time to get your tickets for October 21st, a Trunk and Treat for the Trunk and Treaters. Mr. Lobo will be greeting all the Trunk and Treaters at the Trunk and Treat. Or is it Trunk or Treat? Is it Trunk or Treat?
Trunk or Treat.
I like to say Trunk and Treat, but I think it's Trunk or Treat. But that's at the Shankweiler Drive-In, October 21st. Sally the Zombie Cheerleader will be there. Mr. Lobo will be there. There'll be a contest for cars. So bring out your car, dress up your car, and give some candy to those kids out there, and it's going to be a good time. We're going to have some movies too. All right. RetroCon, September 10th. That's your other chance to see Mr. Lobo. I will be there. I will be there. I will have our table. Maybe we'll do some shooting there. Maybe we'll get a little Cinema Insomnia done there. You never know. But that's another chance. That's in Oaks, Pennsylvania.
If you saw our Cinema Insomnia, it goes to RetroCon episode from last year. It's kind of a preview of what you could be part of this year. Yeah, pretty exciting. That's actually a really great episode. Which is on the Blu-ray, by the way. If you've got a Blu-ray player in your home, or a lot of video game consoles, right, Aaron? Will play a Blu-ray. I know PlayStation 5, I believe Xbox Series, as long as they have disc drives.
Okay.
Because some of the consoles don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a means of playing a Blu-ray, you can catch up and watch the Mr. Lobo Goes to Retrocon episode with Return of the Dinosaurs is the movie.
And I'm sure around Thanksgiving they'll have Blu-ray players on sale for like $25 too.
That's Friday. Right. It'll be the Insomniac Black Friday this year. Hack the Movies. We have some good friends there over at Hack the Movies. We have good friends over there at the Angry Video Game Nerd. We have good friends over there at all that weird cinema review universe there. All those young lads. Movie Dumpster. We're going to be probably doing things with all those folks, but coming up the soonest will be the Movie Dumpster in September. So look, I was supposed to be on the end of this month, but we had problems, didn't we, Aaron?
Yeah.
This month was complicated. Aaron's eye almost fell out. So September, look for us on the Mr. Lobo on the Movie Dumpster, and that'll be a lot of fun. Talking about obscure movies. Okay, Haunted Screams Expo. That is in Hampton, Virginia, the convention center, I believe. We'll be doing a Rocky Horror Shadowcast at that show on Saturday night. And Mr. Lobo will be the criminologist, and I'll be performing with the Creatures of the Narrow, which of course have your Rob and Phyllis, our friends, running that, and of course Eric Sabo as Rocky, which you see him on the program as Yellow Fever. So we're doing a Rocky Horror Shadowcast, and of course at the convention during the day I will have a table. I will be a guest at Haunted Screams Expo, but I can get down in the trenches and do a Rocky Horror still. I still got the legs for it. Okay. Little Shop of Horrors. A great episode, right, Miss Mittens? You love that episode, right? You hate that episode. I think you're adorable in it. Yeah. Remember you had your babies in that episode. I don't remember what happened to all your babies. We'll watch the episode. We'll watch the episode again and find out. But anyhow, Little Shop of Horrors episode, which is a holiday episode. I don't know why they're putting it out now. But Alpha Video, we're still in it with the physical media, distributed nationally through Alpha Video, and I believe their warehouse has been, Allied Vaughn is now distributing their titles for Alpha Video for them. And apparently the Allied Vaughn discs are higher quality, and they look better and they play better. And so if you haven't bought an Alpha Video disc for a while, try these new ones out. They're beautiful. And you can get them on Amazon too. You don't have to go to oldies.com. If you want Mr. Lobo's Cinema Insomnia, Little Shop of Horrors DVD, you can get it, Amazon it to your door, okay? And Mr. Lobo gets a piece of those, so don't worry. And we'll have them in our shop. Once we get our copies, we'll have them in our shop to autograph. If you want an autographed one, you'll be able to get those in our shop once we get some. War of the Planets. My gosh, what a great episode, and even greater now. It's there's a few new surprises. Aaron has done a special edition of War of the Planets episode, and I as I get older, I get a little resistant to the revisionist histories with things. But the original episode went out wet. It didn't get a full chance because there were some technical things that were wrong with it. And so now we've got all those things fixed. It went from SD to HD. It went from being squished like a spaghetti western to filling out the full screen. It's got John Stanley punching Mr. Lobo. It's got the most exciting chapter of the crappy Italian Star Wars saga, War of the Planets. It's got Dixie Delamorto as Romana, premiere of that fantastic character. Astronauti. Steph is Cosmonauti. Steph is original Cosmonauti Prime. And of course, John Stanley. And then we have the animated versions of all those characters in Matt Mercury in one of as an animated short that's included with the Blu-ray. And we have 2 interviews with John 10 years apart. The great John Stanley of Creature Features, author of the Creature Features movie guide and The Career That Dripped with Horror, which is his new book. So that's exciting. If you haven't got that Blu-ray yet, you can get it in our shop at a new lower price. So jump on it. It's fantastic. There's a lot on there. And there's the movie by itself, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to watch that without the cinema insomnia treatment? So if you're a glutton for punishment, it's got everything for you.
Well, and the version of the movie in our episode is very different than the theatrical version of the movie, which is pretty much the only reason I put it on there.
For curiosity, right?
Yeah.
You see the differences?
Yeah, because it's like we cut about 35 minutes out of the movie, did new effects for some of the parts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different movie. Our version of it is different than what you see.
So if you thought the movie was bad in the episode, wait till you see the original.
Yeah, the original version is very misunderstood. We made it more understandable.
Yeah, it's like National Lampoon Vacation with the truckster. You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
Speaking of new movies and 2 different versions of the movie on one disc, Ghastly Love of Johnny X. That, of course, we're still making the episode, but it's all shot. We're getting into the effects portion of it. We're going to be doing a little bit with miniatures. But other than that, all the house segments have been shot for that. Aaron's been starting to put that together. It's looking fantastic. We're going to have a Blu-ray for that. You can still be an associate producer. And Paul Bunnell wants this to be the most backed Cinema Insomnia episode ever. So make Paul's dream come true, the director of the film. Make Paul's dream come true by becoming an associate producer at cinemainsomnia.com/JohnnyX. And Paul will send you he's got couple of CDs, a couple of posters, so he's going to be randomly sending prizes to some of you who are jumping on. And it's a pretty good chance you're going to get something special if you jump on as an associate producer. Plus, you've got the Ghastly Scope glasses that you're going to get when the Blu-rays come. And there's the 2 versions of the movie, of course, the Cinema Insomnia version and, of course, the straight-up movie without our nonsense. So Paul gets married in the intermission of the episode, and we film it at the Shankweiler Drive-In, and there's so much story and so many characters. There's probably a dozen characters in this storyline.
It was funny when I was showing you one of the reels the other day, and then you're just like, I forgot he was in this.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really incredible. I think you guys are gonna be blown away. These 2 episodes that we've been making have been epics. They've been epics. Aaron, is it yet an important message there?
I'm sure it wasn't.
Couple of independent films. I don't know if they have a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or what, or if it's coming, but I just did a voiceover for an exciting new project from Chris Notarilli. He does a lot of these amazing fan films that are so good that they seem like they're official films. He's one of those guys who make those. But this thing is beyond just a fan film. It's a loving homage to 50s science fiction, and it's called Robot Princess from Planet X. And I did 2 different voices for it. So I'm very proud of that project. It looks like it's going to be good. So keep an eye out for it. Maybe we can, if we find a link for the project in general, maybe Aaron can pop that up on the screen for you.
Okay.
But I want you to keep your eye out for that. Another one that Mr. Lobo worked on, and I play I guess I shouldn't say what I play, right? It's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah.
I won't say my role in it. But I have a role in it. You can kind of see.
There's little hints in the trailer.
There's some hints in the trailer. Yeah, there's some hints in the trailer. The Pizza Guy 8 is made by Tate Hoffmaster, who made Psychic Vampire, which Mr. Lobo is also in. And Dylan Mars Greenberg, she is the cinematographer, and the two of them are really a duo on this. At least that's how it felt when they were in here shooting. And we had a really good time. There was a lot of creativity happening in this space. I like that we have independent filmmakers in here playing around with props and trying different techniques and have workshopping through the creative process. Really had a good time. They've got a GoFund. Is it GoFundMe?
I think it's Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. Yeah, they've got an Indiegogo. Their goal for their micro budget movie is like $1,200. They've raised $50 as of this recording, and I was one of the backers. So Lloyd Kaufman, you're a wealthy man. I feel like these are your trauma children. You need to step up and step in here and back this movie 100%. That's my challenge to you, Lloyd Kaufman. I hope you're watching my weekly announcement. Probably not.
I was going to say, does he watch these?
I don't know. I'm always surprised because when we had our 22nd anniversary, he sent me an email and he said, happy birthday to Cinema Insomnia, Maestro, and said some nice things. So
nice.
maybe Lloyd Kaufman is watching this announcement. And if you are Lloyd Kaufman, shame on you. Get these kids, put some money in front of these kids so they can finish their movie. It's going to end up on Troma now anyway. All right.
Get them their $1,200.
Yeah. Speaking of money, the reason I can't back their movie is because we don't have any. I use some of your money to back this kid's movie. That's kind of terrible person I am. We have our studio here. We actually do have a GoFundMe for the studio. If you want to support this studio so that we can invite young filmmakers in here to use this space when they got no place else to go, when they're stuck, there's no room at the inn and they're drowning out there in the rain, they can come in here and dry off and make a little bit of their movie. We're not just doing stuff in here for ourselves. This is a community space where artists can make things. And I really am proud of the fact that we're able to showcase not just Mr. Lobo's talent or Miss Mitten's talent or Aaron's talent or Dixie's talent, but other people's talent as well. And this Saturday night, Saturday, it's time. Yes, indeed. We already said it. Monster of Frankenstein. That's our drive-in episode. So we'll see you Saturday night with a live group chat.
And if you're a fan of the movie Trick or Treat, Sam Todd's featured heavily in it.
Yeah. I think we have the best interview with Sam Todd, and she's just fully integrated into the whole episode. Yeah, co-hosting it practically.
Yeah. And it was funny because it was a ways into filming it before I realized who she was and that she wasn't just a volunteer from the theater.
Well, you were having a bad day, Aaron. Yeah. I think the microphone got ran over and the camera wasn't working,
and then my credit card got compromised at the hotel from the night before, so I had like $2,000 in charges.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So be careful when you're traveling. A Halloween episode, which we'll probably make available to our affiliates as well. But the Monster of Frankenstein episode with the Creature Feature Weekend at the Cumberland Drive-In. And there was one other thing I was going to say before we left on that. Now I can't remember. I know what it is. We're going to be filming in here on Saturday with the miniatures.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to be able to do any behind the scenes with that, but that should be the last little bit that we need for Ghastly Love of Johnny X. So that's why I had the drive-in thing in mind. We've got a little miniature of a drive-in theater, and that's going to be used in the episode as well.
Yeah, you did briefly mention that earlier.
All right. So I think I need a nap. What do you think, Aaron? Miss Mittens? Okay, we're going to have a cuddle puddle over here and take a nap.
Well, you're in luck. You've got a stream in like 5 minutes.
I got another stream in 5 minutes. All systems go.